Okay, so Amanda, I have grave concerns. I'm going to mangle your last name. I believe it's Moisen, is that right?
It's Mavison.
Mavison! Oh, I'm so sorry. I even went over there and found out, and then I ruined it. So anyway, but what we're going to hear is some really, really awesome urban fantasy. So come on up.
I never expect. If you go over and look at the way my name's spelled, you'll understand why that was a bit tough. So, I'm Amanda Mavison. Oh, we're timing this so well today. I've noticed that with everybody. I write gay romance, so we definitely have a nice, diverse group of people here today.
Yeah.
And actually, I changed my mind several times about what I was going to read for you. Originally, I was going to read from my newest release, which is coming up for air. That's in the center there. And then I thought, no, I want to do my superhero-themed one. It's a little bit more unique. Maybe for this crowd might be fun. And then Kelly went and read something unpublished, and then Patrick reminded me it's almost Halloween, and I'm currently in the midst of finishing a vampire romance story, which please don't groan, nothing like Twilight, but I understand. And I'm about 20 pages away from being able to send it to my publisher, so I thought, I'm going to read a little snippet from that instead. Hey, new word. Yes, so new word. Which is why I have my phone, because I had to grab it from on here. What you need to know for the background of this, I'm going to be reading basically the last couple little snippet scenes leading up to the end of chapter 1. So what you need to know is that the character Sam is a personal assistant for a wealthy man who's recently moved to town, Ed Simons. What Ed doesn't know is that Sam's actually a con man planning to rob him, and what Sam doesn't know is that Ed is a vampire. The only other little thing you need to know that would have happened before this point in the chapter is that these characters have sort of bonded over their love of mythology and storytelling, like oral storytelling, and the fact that Sam promised Ed one day he would eventually tell him his version of Hades and Persephone. Out with you? Ed blinked at Sam, forgetting tact or subtlety whenever Sam flirted with him, which was often, but especially when he stood close. Eyes flicking down and up his body with promise. We can still talk about myths and legends when we get back. Please? Oh, that word was unfair coming from Sam. I suppose I do need to get out more. Really? I mean, great. I thought I'd have to drag you kicking and screaming. It's not that I don't enjoy going out, I just feel safer at home. Don't worry, I'll protect you, Sam grinned at him. Ed blushed at the sentiment, though needing protection wasn't the problem. We'll do something simple, with minimal forced mingling, I promise, Sam said, holding Ed's tablet with his calendar open. They were in their chosen chairs in the office again, where Sam had been helping Ed move his entire date book to digital. How about a movie or a show? We can get cocktails with a late dinner. I'll keep my own drinking to a minimum and even DD. You mean drive us? On your bike? Ed leaned back, torn between excitement and concern at the thought of holding on to Sam during the trip, feeling his pulse thrum beneath his hands and through their connected bodies. You'll love it. I guess that could be fun. Okay, it's a date. Sam startled and Ed worried he'd said the wrong thing. He knew they couldn't be more than what they were, that he couldn't give in to their flirtations beyond a night out. But was it so wrong to want to pretend for a while? I'm sorry, I meant a date, Sam said, definitely. Sam handled everything. Cocktails planned at a bar near the theater, A Midsummer Night's Dream playing, which was one of Ed's favorite plays. Then dinner at a nice restaurant down the block, all close together downtown so they could walk between locations and easily escape when they were ready to go home. Sam even chose something for Ed to wear. Are you sure I don't need a tie? It's the theater, Ed said when he came out of the bathroom the next evening, dressed in black slacks, a green button-down, and a charcoal gray sweater. With the black and gray peacoat, it was all very fashionable, but still seemed too casual for a night out. No tie, Sam assured him. He looked sharp as well in jeans, a loose sweater, and a heather gray blazer. For their date. I can't believe I'm finally going to see you eat, Sam said. I eat? Never in front of me. Well, tonight will be a first for many things then. Sam gazed at Ed like he was trying to memorize how he looked. Come here, Ed. We have time yet, but there's something I've been wanting to do. He grasped Ed's hand, and for a moment Ed thought he was going to just kiss him right there in the bedroom. But then he pulled him into the hallway and tugged on the cord for the ladder up to the widow's walk. Sam, here, I grabbed these from your dresser. Sam handed him the sunglasses he'd given him for his light sensitivity, so he thought. The sun should be mostly set by now anyway. It's not only that. I really don't like heights. Just this once. I promise I won't let you fall. Sam grinned cheekily, and Ed scowled at him for the jab, but allowed himself to be led up to the roof. The light was still a little much, making him grateful for the sunglasses, but the sun had dipped low enough below the horizon that it cast beautiful colors across the sky. Since they stayed near the hatch, he didn't have to look out over the side, but simply watched the sunset while still clinging to Sam's hand. Once upon a time, Sam began, making Ed's chest grow warm as he realized what he was about to do. Hades was on Mount Olympus for a yearly council with his brothers. On his way home, he took the long route along a winding path down the mountain. He liked the gardens there, mostly because no one else ever frequented them, so he could enjoy their color and beauty without anyone gawking at him. No bloom he'd ever seen, however, was as beautiful as the goddess he found there that day. "What are you looking at?" she asked, completely unafraid of him, but also unaware of who she was speaking to. Persephone was in a foul mood after having a fight with her mother, who'd forbidden her from leaving home. Willful and proud, she'd snuck out to the gardens anyway. She was all grown up and wanted freedom, but her mother still treated her like a child. She wanted to run away for good, but had nowhere to go. She told Hades all this, still not knowing his name, just needing someone to listen to her. "You can come with me," he offered, utterly captivated by this fiery flower he'd found. "It's not beautiful where I live, but your mother would never reach you there." Persephone, finally and truly looking at Hades, realized how beautiful he was, and couldn't imagine such a handsome god living anywhere that wasn't remarkable, so she agreed. She got so lost in talking with him during the long trek down the mountain that she didn't realize they were descending all the way into the underworld until they came to the river Styx. "You're him. You're Hades," she said. "Yes," he answered, assuming their time together would end now that she knew the truth. "Would you like to go home?" But she surprised him. "Why would I want that?" "Aren't you afraid of my darkness, dear?" he asked. And Persephone said, "No, you haven't seen mine yet." Sam's smile was soft, maybe even sad as he returned to the quote he'd first told Ed of that story. The space between them kept shrinking. Ed drawn in as Sam looked at him, and certain that Sam began to tilt his head closer too. Sam's phone erupted, causing Ed to snap back. He was still holding Sam's hand, but he had to release it, as Sam pulled out his cell phone. "What is it?" he answered sharply, his smile gone now, and his expression only dropped further. "Tonight? I was on my way out." "No, I understand. You're right, I did promise. I'll see you in 20. "Is something wrong?" Ed asked. "I've been helping some friends with moving plans, and I guess this is the only night they can pack up the heavier stuff. I promised to help, and..." "Oh," Ed said before Sam could finish. "I'm really sorry, Eddie. You should still go. Enjoy the evening. I'll reimburse you for my ticket. Don't be silly. I'm sure I can find someone to take it at will call. I wouldn't want all your hard work getting me out of the house to go to waste." "I'll make it up to you," Sam said, seeming more upset than Ed was, which he decided to take as a compliment. "I'll call a Lyft so you can still have as many drinks as you want, and make sure you're safely on your way there before I head out, okay?" They left the roof and waited in the foyer for the car to arrive. When it did, Sam opened the front doors for Ed and joked at him, "Are you sure you're not a ghost haunting this place and you can't actually cross that threshold?" Ed smirked at him and made a grand show of walking out of the house. "I stand corrected," Sam said, locking up behind them. The driver was waiting. Sam's motorcycle was waiting, but Ed wouldn't get to ride on after all. "Goodbye, Eddie," he said. "I wish that didn't sound so final. Promise me, before you start that other job, you'll come back sometime and finish telling me that story?" "I promise. I promise." It wasn't the first time Sam had lied to Ed, but it hurt the most. He took a different route than the Lyft driver, making sure it was well out of view before he parked his bike away from the house in a place he'd chosen earlier. He walked back by cover of nightfall, so there was no chance of the neighbors seeing him. He'd stashed the needed supplies in the foyer closet. In the backpack, he told Ed was his change of clothes. It had been, but it also contained the tools he needed to complete the job. Sam had hours to get everything done now that Ed was out of the house, but he planned to be swift if also careful. He'd leave no trace of the theft or his presence there once he was gone. And maybe Ed wouldn't ever find out. He'd wonder, though, what became of Sam Coleman when he never heard from him again. I wanted to finish this chapter, but I think I'm going to go way over 5 minutes if I do, so I can't actually lead all the way into him discovering the truth about Ed. But that is my next work in progress, so thank you.